The FBI is offering a reward of up to $15,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in the disappearance of this couple, Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone.
Who you decide to be in this moment in order to help this family is going to dictate the outcome of today.
The two vanished after spending time with friends at a South Philadelphia bar back on February 19, 2005. The pair, who knew each other since high school, started dating a few months after Danielle split from her estranged husband. If you have any information, call your local FBI office.
Today we were back in Philadelphia looking for Danielle Imbo and Richard Petrone. We've been here earlier this year. We did two searches. One is kind of up on the north side of the Delaware River of Philadelphia. We also did another search down at some piers kind of down by the Walmart and Home Depot area. But we have some new information today that's going to bring us to this location, which is an old Dwuk boat ramp. Before I get into that though, let me kind of introduce you more to the case as well. And if you've not seen or you don't know about Danielle and Richard, just bring everybody up to speed. So what we have is February 19th of 2005, we have Danielle and Richard went and they were last seen at Abilene's bar, which is over on South Street.
Right.
They were driving, Richard's vehicle is a 2001 Dodge Dakota Ram pickup truck, license plate number YFH 2319 with a possible NASCAR sticker on the back. Neither one of them since that night have used their cell phones, their credit cards, banks, nothing. Both have children, and family says there's absolutely no way they would ever leave their family.
Wow.
Richard was from the area over here on Philly side. We have Danielle from the New Jersey side. Now with past cases, we've actually solved them because you, the viewers, have reached out to us and said, Jared, I saw the video that you did on such and such a case, and I have some more information that may be able to help you solve that. And in the past, we've actually come back, we've solved cases with that new information. So this is where we really appreciate you, the viewers, being a part of this. If you happen to know of any cases anywhere across the US that happens to have a missing person associated with a vehicle, and they've both gone missing, please do reach out to us. It's because of you, the viewers, and your tips that has put us on these. Also, if you've seen any one of our videos and you have some new information, please reach out to us, because right now we're going to bring Robert into this because he's somebody that did exactly that. He said, Jared, I saw your investigation, I saw what you're doing, and I want to introduce him right now. Robert, you're from the Philly area,
Yep.
And as I understand it, back in 2005,
Yeah.
when the two of them went missing, you were driving past this ramp that we've not searched this before.
Right.
Can you kind of fill us in on that story?
Yeah, I was, my wife had cancer about that year in 05, and she was being treated at Jefferson Hospital. And I heard about the story, and I figured, let me take a ride down, coming back from the hospital. And I drove down Ray Street to the ramp, and I noticed the gate was smashed open. And right away I thought, maybe they drove into here.
And this is a ramp that was used by Dwuk Boat Tours back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, how many days after they went missing did you think about this? Like, hey, I'm going to take a drive.
It was like 2 days after.
Okay.
So I was down there every day going to the hospital with my wife. So I was coming by and checking it, and every day that ramp was busted open near the gate.
So here's a theory then that that you came up with is, what if, and some new information that I didn't have that's not in anything online, is that just down the road right here, Dave and Buster's, or actually right here.
Yep.
So we've got Dave and Buster's right here.
And the only way you really get to the bar is to go down by the Twin Towers down there, second ramp, and we'll go over that way towards the bar.
But they started their evening right here
Yes,
at David
he
Buster's
started here, yeah.
by himself, and then he met up with Danielle later
Yeah,
at Abilene's.
Abilene's, yep.
And so then in coming back, if he's going to take her home, they've got to go over to Jersey, they've got to come back over the Ben Franklin Bridge.
Yeah. And
But
he
they-
might have seen this and thought maybe,
Hey, you know what?
let me
Maybe,
show my girlfriend this or something. You never know.
yeah, what we can refer to as Lover's Lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, as far as you know, this area has never actually been searched.
Right. Right.
Well, I think it's a good place for us to start today. We really appreciate you
Yep.
coming down, helping us out. You're going to be hanging out for the day?
Yes, I will.
All right, well, we're going to put the boat in the water right now, and let's go see if we can find Danielle and Richard at this
Thank you.
location. Thank you. Some of the reasons why we use the down imaging and the live scope is that really helps us out with the height. So if we find a vehicle that's down here, it's going to be 4 to 6 feet in height, and so it'll just like pop up plain as day for a vehicle if we're directly over the top of it. If, however, we're not directly over the top of it, you're going to see it over here on side imaging, and with these grid lines being 1836 and the vehicle is roughly 12 to 18 feet in length, it's going to fill most of one of these grid lines to kind of give you an idea and a representation of what it is we're looking for under here. So it stands out really well. These over here that you see right here is actually the pier, and so those are the shadows that you're looking at. So this is the shadow that's making behind it. So think of it as a silhouette when you're in a dark room and you shine a flashlight on somebody. That's the silhouette or the shadow from behind the piers, or what would be a person in a dark room. So if a vehicle is in here, it's going to pop up plain as day. And we're only down to 4 feet of water now, so it's really shallow.
Whoa.
The
Yeah,
tide
the
is
car's
actually-
not going to come out here.
Yeah, the
It's
tide
up
is
there.
actually out right now as well. You can see over on this wall where the plants are growing. That's where when the tide comes in the next 4 to 6 hours, it's going to come up another 3 feet right there. So if anything, it's going to be back there closer. It could be in that back eddy back there, so we'll clear this entire area. And then as far as a vehicle floating this far out, it's not. If a vehicle came in at this location, based upon what we know in the past, a vehicle is not going to float all the way out here because of the back eddies and the current here. And this right here is the Delaware River separating New Jersey from Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. And if you look really close, you can actually see the logs going upriver, and that's because the tide is coming in, and so the river will actually flow in reverse when the tide is coming in. So we'll come around, we'll do this other perimeter on the other side, and then we'll do the middle of it and actually clear this. And Robert himself, he's been thinking, for the last, since 2005, just a couple days later, he's always been drawn to this case, and he's always wondered, was this area searched properly? Are Danielle and Richard in here? That's where we come in. We look for those answers, and we hope to solve all these investigations that we get on. But if anything else, it provides additional video evidence as to where they are not. We can go check out what this may or may not be over here. It looks like a log or something, but we want to go double check it. The route that I just came in, that vehicle would be, or whatever that object is, would be about 20 to 25 feet was off to my left, so we're going to come over to my left just a little bit more and try to get right over the top of it, so that way we can get a live scope and down imaging to really get a good reading on it. Yeah, so when we moved closer to that, it didn't pop anything up on live scope or down imaging. So we're back to 8 feet now. We went from 36 to 18 to 8. Now it's getting deeper again here. So you can see as it goes in and out, got down to 8, now it's back down to 13 here. So our last hopeful spot then, Doug, is if a vehicle comes in, catches the back eddy right here, because it's deeper here, catches a back eddy here, and it's sitting over there. It's our next hopeful location in here. So right here is where it starts coming up. So now we're at 4 feet. So nothing's making its way past this spot right here. If it came in at the boat ramp, it's not going past this shelf. It gets too shallow.
Yeah, and I mean, we both know that where they go in, that's where they go in. Where they rest is where they stay.
Yep.
So it's not, and in no way whatsoever is it going to go in and then up a shelf.
Correct.
Kind of surprised, you know, downtown Philadelphia, there's a boat ramp right there, under a bridge.
I am surprised.
I would have pegged at least a car in here.
Well, you know, we ran into the same issue, you know, upriver and downriver at some other locations, is that we didn't find a single car in Philly, and I was shocked.
I wonder if they have a good dive team.
Oh, I'm sure they do. We'll talk to Robert, see what his other highlight location is that he was thinking. You know, or do I just want to start going? Maybe I just start hitting every one of these on the way down to Southside. Take Carson with me. You can take the RV and we'll just meet up down by Walmart.
I think that's the safe spot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the safest thing to do. I don't want to leave here unless you feel confident that you've cleared it. The fact that you even mentioned that makes me feel as though you need to do that.
Move towards Walmart.
Yeah.
Do everyone between here,
Right.
between Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
And down Southside.
Right.
And then we can decide if we're gonna keep heading down to the Scully Cole River or whatever that is down there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Robert, good news, bad news. You no longer have to worry about this location. Completely clear. We have like 13 to 15, gets out to 18 or so, about halfway out here. And then because the tide is down right now, it actually gets up to 3.5 to 4 feet. No vehicle is going to climb back up and over once it goes in here. So if anything, it's going to be, you know, in this little eddy here. So where do we go from here? Right now, I think since we already have the boat in the water here, I think that I'm going to grab Carson and we're just going to run every little access point here because, you know, how many potential dumping spots, suicide spots, accident spots are between Dave and Buster's here and down to Walmart. All right, well, let's do that, and then, yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll meet you guys down at Walmart probably about 3-4 hours from now. All right, so starting off here at the Ben Franklin Bridge, we're gonna go and cover every single one of these little inlets that we can get into and the ends of these old piers, because remember, back, you know, 15 years ago, some of these you could actually drive off into, that it wasn't parks that they had redone or, you know, buildings that may be there now. So you have new construction that's taken place. And so our big thing that we're going to do is hit these inlets that we have access to. And then what if a vehicle went off the end there? We're going to search, as we normally do, a river, you know, down, you know, 100 or 200 yards, 35 to 85 feet out for if a vehicle was to float down. But remember, the river also runs upstream when the tide's coming in. So we're really scanning this entire section of river at the end of this as well. So there's nothing that we're gonna miss. Out of that also, we're heading all the way down to Walmart. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 inlets that we're hitting. And this one here, with all this train bridge stuff, we've already covered that on one of our previous searches. Sound good? Let's knock it out. Fun fact about diving, by the way, when you are diving where there happens to be a current like the Delaware River or any channel inlet that goes out to the ocean for a river. As I mentioned, the river will actually go upriver instead of out into the water if the tide is coming in, vice versa. If the tide is going out, it'll flow its natural direction. But there is also what you call slack tide. That is like the exact middle point for an hour in time when the water is not flowing inward and it's not flowing outward. Pretty much it's like a lake at that moment in time with no current. So if you are a new diver and you plan on diving into a river that goes into with tidal like this, do so at slack tide when you have zero current. The other thing to account for here, Carson, that we've not checked is how long has this pier, like back in 2005, was there an actual pier here? And I know there's a pier because as I scan it, boom, old pier. So what if there was access to drive out onto here and then just off the side. So we've checked the right side of it, now we're checking the left side of it just to make sure that we clear it properly. In fact, you know, kind of get shallow, but I'll take us right out over onto it. So I turned, that's why you no longer see it, because now we're heading directly to it, and we were coming up on it. There you go. So now you see it on, down imaging too, and we're bumping, like it's so shallow, I'm actually hitting the bottom. But you can see it on live scope, and you can see it on down imaging. So here's a fun little underwater old pier here as well. You can see some of it still sticking up here. So it came out here quite a ways. What we want to do is we want to angle around this Carson and then come up to, you know, what if there's a road there was access into, was there any type of a dumping ground? We just want to continue to knock out all these little inlets in the body of water. So swap out with you and Doug, that'll be halfway, and then we can finish going down to Schuylkill, which will cover everything from the Ben Franklin all the way to Schuylkill. I feel really good about the search on all this. So these are like the old piers that are down here, you know, and they're labeled now as private property, no trespassing. They have some, you know, fencing up there. But again, coming back to 2005, how much fencing was up here? What access did you have? Is this a potential place to dump vehicles or a dumping ground in general? Place of suicides, you know, place of accident. You come out here, Lover's Lane, you know, late at night, and then you accidentally put it into drive instead of reverse. You know, there's a lot of possibilities as to what could happen out here. And that's why we're out here scanning, searching each one of these to make sure that we clear the entire area, to make sure there's no vehicles underwater that we need to clear. All right, so last time we were in here, we did some scanning, and right underneath here is where the old boat is that we found. So you can see the boat there, to verify it's a boat. We had two targets that were down here. One of them looked like a work van that we did not get on, and the other one was a boat. So our big thing is just to verify that we should have two targets in here only. So you can see it on live scope, we're bringing it up. It's a boat upside down on top of a log. So this is the boat portion of it, and then you have the big log underneath. And then if we see, you can see it there. Much better.
I can see it there.
Yep. So now if we come down a little bit more on the left here you go. That should be a work van, and we never actually put eyes on it. But wait a minute.
That looks like a truck.
That actually looks like a truck. This could be the truck we're actually looking for. So let's scan it in a couple different locations. A couple different ways. Yeah, we never actually put our eyes on that one. Like, we spotted it last time, but we never found it on when we went back down diving. The current in here was actually going out at the time, and so water was down like another 4 feet heading out. And it was really difficult to actually dive here. Kind of dangerous actually, because it was sucking us underneath the pier there. Okay, so our goal, Carson, is to see if we can identify as a truck or a van or a car. If we do identify it as a truck, and we mislabeled it from last time, and we never got on it because of the current, then that is our number one objective, is to get on this one if it's a truck, and see if it's the truck we're looking for. Okay, right off of that, right straight off of that one. Okay, now that I know I'm coming straight into it, let me have this. So I'm coming into it straight into that. And we're coming into it at a different angle. So we should see it pop up on live scope. Okay, so it's right here, popping up on live scope. I don't think it's what I'm looking for. I think it's too small. It should be a lot bigger. I have nothing that indicates that that's a vehicle, and that's what I think my target was. If I come across it here, same thing. It is not my target. Now we're going to be coming up on the boat, right there, right there. So that's my boat. It is not a vehicle. So I'm going to go across this about 8 different ways just to make sure that I can say without a doubt, 100%, that this is not a vehicle. Because last time that we were here, we didn't have LifeScope to verify it. And so in looking at it, see how we have like rounded concrete and stuff right here?
Yep.
And you have broken pieces?
Yep.
That's what was showing up on LifeScope, that there was no indication that it was a vehicle. What we'll do on the other one that we're calling the rock right now, let's grab a magnet.
And give it a try?
Yep. I mean, let's not be wrong. All right, go ahead and drop down and I'll put you right over it again. So I can see your magnet going down. I mean, it could be a vehicle. Okay, drop your magnet, bounce around, bounce up and down, bounce around. Let's see if I can lock you on it. And what you're gonna feel for is it gonna bounce on something more solid? And if it locks, is it metal? Pull your magnet up, I wanna see, okay, bounce straight down. Down now. Drop it down, right there. Now bounce right there. Okay, so you should feel like the edge of it. You should be bouncing right up and over the edge. And
I feel something, but
it's not locking on.
nothing feels like anything's locking.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I feel it. It feels like a rock.
Yep, so if it's not locking.
Yeah, but I can feel it.
So you can easily pull it up and off.
Yeah, so I think we can rule this one out, Jared.
Yep, that one's ruled out. Yeah, it actually wasn't a van. That's why we couldn't find it before. It's one of the, you remember where it was broken over there with all the concrete?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is, just a big concrete chunk that came off of there.
I got you.
But yeah, I double checked it though. I found the boat again too on Sonar.
Well, that one you found that day too, didn't you?
Yeah, I dove on that one.
Yeah.
But that's why we could never find the other one. The mysterious disappearance of Richard and Danielle has me stumped. I have absolutely no idea. There's so much water, Delaware River. We've covered everything now from Dave & Buster's, all the way down from Ben Franklin Bridge down to the Whitman Bridge. If anything, I can turn to the family and say, you know what? I feel 99.867% that they are not within this area. We clearly identified one boat, 0 vehicles. In fact, a second boat that we knew about from last year, but there's nothing else in this stretch. So then that brings us back to, where else do we look? The FBI says that they never crossed over the 2 bridges with tolls, and there's only one other way to get to Jersey. Is you have to go all the way up to 95, around and down, and nobody's gonna do that at midnight to 1, 2 in the morning. They're from the area. They're gonna go across the bridge. I'm not yet saying that this is foul play. I mean, I say that we're still working this case. We're done with it for this year, but we're gonna be back again next year. And I think we just take it from Dave & Buster's and we just run the rest of the Delaware to the north. Because we know, as far as we know, they never crossed over into Jersey. Right. We're gonna be over on the Schuylkill River tomorrow working another case, and maybe, just maybe, we might run into and solve this one by accident when we're working another case. You just never know.
Same area.
Yeah.
Robert's information was credible. It made sense. Just didn't pan out.
And I'm really surprised at that boat ramp that there's not cars in there.
Right.
Like that one really stumps me.
I figured we'd put in this morning where we put in, find 10 cars and be diving all day, and no cars. No cars.
Anyway, we thank Robert for getting a hold of us. We thank all of you for being here. It's because of you, the viewers. They're reaching out to us. They're saying, hey, Jared, here's what you need to put on your map for your next trip. There's a cold case that happens to have a missing persons and a vehicle. Have you heard about it? Reach out to us, support@adventurewithapurpose.com. And also, please keep in mind that it's because of you, the viewers, that just by being here, watching the videos, make sure that you subscribe as well. It means the world to us, and that's how we're able to spread awareness to these families as to us coming in and helping them for free of charge as well. Also, check out adventurewithapurpose.com if you'd like any of the merchandise. Every sale helps us stay on the road, repair the RV, put fuel in it, and keeps us on the road to come out here and work these cold cases. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on the next mystery, and hopefully we're going to solve the next one. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.